In the last video, we learned how to create columns. We created some structural columns. So I'm going to go through it again and then we'll go ahead and create the architectural columns. So to create the structural columns, I'm going to delete this and delete this. So we went to architecture and then we went into column, structural column, and we use 10 by 49 at the side. And while you're creating the column, you have to check under the properties. So for instance, you select this and make sure it's going from level 1 to the roof level. So you always have to make sure in the properties that is going to the correct level. And this is also from level 1, and the the top level is the roof level. So if there is an offset, you can put the top offset here or the base offset. So we created the structural columns and now we are going to create the architectural columns. So to create the architectural columns, we come to level 1 and I'm going to zoom in so we can see clearly. So to create the architectural columns, we're going to go to architecture and we're going to go to columns and select architectural column. So this is the size. So you can always edit the size. These are the sizes that are here. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to edit it. Let's select 18 by 18 or 24 by 24. To edit the size, you select it, you go to edit type, and you select the new style, the new size that you want to create. So assuming we want to create 28 by 28, I'm going to duplicate the existing style, duplicate, and then you type in the size that you want to create, size of column that you want to create, and you say okay. So once I put in 28, I'll come in here and change the size. Instead of 2 feet, I'll have 2 feet 4 inches, and then I'll have 2 feet 4 inches here. And I'll say okay. So that's how you create a new size. But for this drawing, let's use the 24 by 24. So I'm going to use the 24 by 24. And we're going to copy, put in constraint and multiple, and then select the center. So you make sure you're copying to the center so it's placed directly on the center. So what I forgot to do is to check the offset. So I'm going to check that once I finish. And you have to make sure you check the constraint, the base constraint on the top. So copy, select object, since we want to select the center, and then place it exactly at the center. Oh, okay, what happened? I copied the structural one, so I have to make sure I delete it. So now if we look at the 3D view, if I go to view and I check the 3D view. You can see the column. So you can see the column, the rectangular column is going from level 1 to level 2. And we want it to go to the roof level. So I'm going to right click and select all instances. I'm going to make it go from level 1 to the roof level. So we have our columns in place. Now we're going to add walls, and we have different type of walls. We have the exterior walls, the interior walls. So if you look at this drawing, you can see we have the exterior walls, and you can look at the exterior walls and see it's basic exterior brick or metal stud. You can look at the interior walls and see it's interior 478 inches, and you can look at the this and see it's curtain wall glazing, exterior glazing. So we have the exterior walls, we have the interior walls, we have the curtain wall glazing. So we're going to add the different type of walls, and we're going to learn how to edit the walls. So I'll come here to level 1. So the first one we are going to add is the exterior wall. So we are using exterior wall architecture wall. And for the exterior wall, we're using brick or metal stud. So I'm going to come here. You want to make sure. So before you're adding it, you come here and you want to make sure if you're selecting core location line is important. If you want to select core center line or so wall, but I'm gonna use the wall center line because I want it to be on the wall center line. And I'm gonna start from here and go this way. So it's important that your brick wall is on the outside right now. As it's here, when you click this, the brick wall changes. So right now it's on the outside. So I'm gonna add another wall. So now the brick wall is on the outside. I'm gonna add another exterior wall here. And as you're adding the walls, you need to check the properties of your wall. You have to make sure the columns are at the center of the grid. And you have to make sure your grid wall is on the good. So I'm going to add the wall, the exterior wall on this side. So you can edit your walls, and we'll go in and see how to edit the walls. Can edit your walls, can edit your wall sizes, you can edit the materials, you can edit what is in your wall. For instance, this is supposed to brick wall a metal stud. So if I come in here, edit type, so I can actually preview it and see what it is. So this is what we have, and if we want to edit, so you can see all the membrane here, the finished membrane, the thermal layer. Can see the boundary, the structure is 0.6 inches, the plywood sheathing. So you can check what you want on your wall and you can remove what you do not want on your wall. And you can actually delete what you don't want. For instance, if we don't want the brick finish, you can actually uncheck it and it will not be on the wall, but we want the brick. And you can also change the thicknesses. So you can edit your wall the way you want it. And you can also come in here and change wherever you want. So you can see for each wall, you can see the assembly code for the wall, which is one of the classifications that you use in Revit. It's a master class classification. So now we're going to do the interior walls. After the exterior wall, we're going to place the interior walls. So come in here and we see the interior walls going like this. So we're going to place the interior walls. So you go to architecture wall, and the interior wall that we have here is the interior. So the same way you can also edit the interior wall and put the size that you want. But I'm going to use this size and I'm going to show you how to edit it. So this comes this way. I think we have one this way. Let me check. Yeah, this way, in the middle. So and there is another wall here. So if you want to edit the size of the interior walls, you can select it, edit type. Right now, this is 478 inches. You duplicate and you can use another size for instance, if you want to make it 578, and you say okay. And then you can come into the structure and edit the sizes, the thickness here. So you can change the size of your walls. So right now we're using the 478 inch wall. We're not using that one. Partition walls. So for this size, we actually have curtain walls. So you see, you have basic wall, but we can go in there and select curtain wall glazing instead of basic wall. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select exterior glazing curtain wall. And the curtain wall, you can change the way it looks. So I'm going to take a 3D shot of the curtain wall. So I'm going to come in here and go to 3D. So right now, this is what we have. This is what we have. So we're taking it to the roof level and you can edit it. You can also look at it in elevation view. So these are elevation views. Paste. So this is the curtain wall. And if you select it, you can go to the properties and edit it. So right now we have this. So if you go to edit type, the properties comes in. And this is the vertical grid and this is the horizontal grid spacing. So you can put in where you want your spacing to be. So right now the vertical grid is faced 6 feet. The horizontal grid is faced 12 feet. So assuming I want to make the vertical grid 3 feet, so I can change it to 3 feet. And I can change the horizontal grid to 9. And I can apply. Say okay. So you can change the spacing. You can change the spacing on your curtain wall depending on how you want it to be. and you can change. So you can also in the elevation, you can you can edit your walls in elevation. If you select it and it's not in the right place, you can go to elevation and edit it. So I'm going to go back to level 1. So it's supposed to go up to roof level, and the exterior walls are supposed to go up to roof level. So we're going to change the exterior walls and take them up to roof level. And these walls are the exterior walls up to roof level, up to roof level. Okay. The interior walls can stop at level 2 because the walls are different on the upper level. So I'm going to stop the interior walls on level 2. Check out the interior walls and stop them at level 2. Check, stop it at level 2. Check this and stop it at level 2. Now we can look at the 3D view. So now we have all our interior walls in place, our curtain walls in place, and our exterior walls in place that I can shade. And if I want to, I can also change the detail level to 5 so we can see more of the detail level. So this is a very good view. So we can see everything. We can see the interior walls, we can see the exterior walls, and we can also see the curtain wall. So we can edit our wall, we can edit a wall profile and create different shapes using our walls. So for instance, if I want to edit this wall profile, I can edit it in elevation. So I'll come to the elevation view. Any of the wall, you can actually edit any of the wall profiles. So we're talking about this wall. So I'm going to select this wall. And if I want to edit the profile, once you select the wall, you click on edit profile. What edit profile just means you can change the shape of the wall. Example, if you are designing and you want an angular wall, so you can change the shape of the wall. So we're going to use the line, and you will draw a line here. And I can, if I want a wall that is, and bring it up here. So right now the wall has another shape, but you have to make sure the lines are all in closed loop. So I'm going to add another line here, and I'm going to finish. So now we have look at the shape of the wall. So once you have finished your drawing, you can take different views. You can take camera shots, you can cut plans, you can do sections. So for instance, I can come here and I can say, okay, 3D view, and I can take a camera shot. So now this is a view of the project. And their view cube is very important because with the view cube, you can change the way you are looking at the project. You can look at everything. And with your view cube, you can also create different 3D views. So the view cube is very, very important in creating your views. And we can also go in and cut a section. So if you go to view, you can go to section and you can cut a section through your drawing. So once you cut a section, you click on it. You can see the section. So the section, once you cut a section, the section line will also come here. So you can see the section from here. So for each project, You can also see the section. So now you have your level, you have your walls, and you're able to cut through a section, and you have all your elevations. This is north, south, and west elevation. For this video, we're just learning how to add our columns, how to create our walls. So we've been able to create the exterior walls, the interior wall, the curtain wall, and we've also been able to edit our walls.